Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Skrull Queen and Super Skrull 2-pack, part of the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest. I guess this is their new thing that they're doing. It's going to be like a new mini series of Marvel Legends, and they're all going to tie in with this whole thing. And that's fine. And as far as I can tell, the only place that is shipping these at this point, at least at the time of filming, is Big Bad Toy Store. And so I'm basing it on that price. That's where I buy all my Legends anyway. This thing, this price, is a lot. It's $57. It might have been 50. I think it's 57. Which means these figures are $28.50 a piece. $28.50. Keep that in mind for Marvel Legends in this 2-pack. I'm going to be using that as a reference point for the quality and what I should expect to be getting. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Super Skrull, he stands roughly 7 inches, like very close to 7 inches to the top of his head. That's going to make him almost exactly 18 centimeters. Spider Lady, or Skrull Queen, stands almost exactly 16 centimeters, which makes her about 6 and we'll call it 6 1/4 inches. Maybe there's a little hair floof. And here they are up against Darwin. So I think scaling's okay. I wouldn't mind if Super Skrull was a little bit bigger though, especially for some reasons we're going to address later. Okay, question of the day. Do you guys think any of the Marvel Legends, like normal figures, not deluxes or anything like that are meant to be at a higher price point, do you think any Marvel Legends, the standard 1/12 scale figures, are worth $28.50? I do not. I don't think there has ever been a Marvel Legends figure that has been worth $28.50 retail price. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to review each of these figures like together but separately. So we're going to start with this one. Let's start with the lady. Okay, so here we go. Aesthetics. There are some new parts, there are some old parts. I know you guys are getting excited because, hey, it's actually shaped like a female. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. This is old, I believe. These are definitely old. Arms are part old, part new. And then the torso is definitely new. Kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. The legs are still old, so they're pinned. They are not pinless. They have not sculpted new legs. Luckily, these legs are not terrible. They do have enough shape to them that that's okay. Same thing with this torso. She definitely is caked up. So you get that if you want that. Now for the torso, this old body used to have bazoombas that matched the lower body. Now they're still there, but they're not there as much. And they're certainly not as, shall we say, detailed as you might see in a comic. I'm not talking about like little details. I mean like the shape and the fact that every part of her body is skin tight except where her boobs are because they didn't want to sculpt boobs. That's the only place there's loose clothing anywhere on her body. So you know what, take it if you want, but to me that's a cop-out and still a crappy sculpt. The arm sculpt, by the way, is just hideous. They sculpted part of the shoulder onto the bicep, so now she has giant meat flaps on her shoulder cap. That's not cool. This looks super weird. Also, they gave her the Spider-Man wing flap holes, so that doesn't look good either. These upper arms are really gross. The head, I don't know if it's new or old. It's a good sculpt though, other than the eyes are too far apart. Definitely too far apart. So that's a little disappointing, but the sculpt is otherwise pretty decent. So sculpt-wise, I'm not thrilled. It's better than the skinny ones that they've been giving us, but it's certainly not a good sculpt overall. Paint-wise, it's not as bad as it could have been, but it's not particularly good. The transitions are okay from red to yellow to black. That's all fine. It's not great. Some of the painted reds are not particularly good, but it's acceptable. Torso part right here is painted pretty well. Mine is jacked up right here. But otherwise, the paints are okay, except for the face. It's not as good as it could be. They're not terrible, but it's definitely not super clean. I don't see that and think, ooh, collectible. Not at all. And there's no shading in the hair. There's no shading anywhere, in fact. So I'm considerably underwhelmed for $28.50. Terrible. So aesthetically speaking, she gets like for Marvel Legends, a generous 6. Okay, now for this guy. Let's talk about this guy. Almost all reused parts. The chest is new, the head is new, and the cape is new. Otherwise, as far as I can tell, it's the same Super Skrull as before. So this whole piece that was a new piece for the first one is a new piece for this one. All right. But look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He's got a collar of neck meat. What the hell? How does that kind of thing get past? He's actually got a collar of neck meat. What is going on? The head sculpt is nice. Let's look at that. Let's take a break. Let's cleanse our palate. The head sculpt is really good. I like the eyes, I like the nose, I like the chin, I like the ears. Even the weird hat thingy, pretty good. It's a nice matte finish. The little bit of paint that's on there is clean enough. I like the head sculpt. That's great. Paint job on the lightning, good enough. Not great, but good enough. Paint job right here, it's definitely not great. It doesn't stand out as being impressive, it stands out as being blah. And then on the arms, it's okay. Nothing special there. But oh my goodness. Not only does he have a meat flap going all the way around his neck like a turtleneck, this figure is so poorly proportioned. It was okay the first time it came out because it was a smaller head that's had a little bit lower, but still problematic. This time, they made it even worse. His head is freakishly big. It's way too far away from the rest of his body. Look at that. Look at the artwork they provided on the box, which I was going to do it, and then I was like, hey, wait a minute, it's actually on the box. I don't even have to go get an image. He's looking down a little bit, and where's his chin? Where's his freaking chin? It's touching his chest. At least, I mean, in line, it's not necessarily actually touching, but it's that low. Because that's how he should be built. Big chest, little head, doesn't sit up like a friggin' microphone. Oh my gosh, this figure is hideous. Look at how far away his head is from his shoulders. Is that supposed to be imposing? It looks ridiculous. And look how far forward the shoulders are. He's got some kind of spine problem. His shoulders are way too far forward. His neck is way too far back. He's got no thickness. This figure's hideous. What a waste of a release. And I thought it was going to be so cool because I like this look for Super Skrull. It's not. The cape, they did a pretty good job on. They thought they could hide all this garbage with this cape. And it kind of hides it. But if you have any eye for anything, the head is still huge compared to the body. And it's still way too far away. But it does hide it some. They did a really good job with the detail work on the cape. The sculpt wise, anyway. The paints are pretty clean too. There's a little bit of texture throughout. And it's a matte finish. So cape is actually a good thing. And it's pretty necessary to hide how abysmally gross this figure looks. So he's going to get... I'm going to give him a 2 out of 10 for the aesthetic because this is just disgusting. The cape does hide it, so you could bump it up to a 3 if you want, but the cape also has an incredibly difficult time staying pegged in because they gave him a tiny little peg and he's shaped horribly so it doesn't stay on. So far we're not doing really well. Alright, let's do accessories for Spider Lady Skrull Queen. We do have the Spider Lady head and then we get the Skrull head, which is done well enough. It's okay. She looks not quite right to me. There's something off about the face. It looks kind of like elfish. You guys get what I'm saying? Not just because of the pointy ears, it's just the way she's done. It doesn't quite look like her to me, but okay, it's there, it's decent. We have the 2 fist hands that come on her in the package, then we get Storm's hands that have been repainted and molded to green and yellow, which looks ridiculous, especially since they have the wiggly parts on the fingers not painted. That looks pretty bad. And then we get some Spider-Man web wings, which are not particularly good. Not good. Alright, that's it for her. Now for Super Skrull, you get, I think, a reasonable set of accessories. You get the alternate stretchy arm and then you get the Iron Man arm. I think those are fine. Those are pretty good. Not much else you really need. It's unfortunate they go to a crappy figure, but they're decent. I'll do accessory-wise all around 7 out of 10. Not too bad. Okay, let's do the articulation. We're going to start with the Skrull Lady here. It does have a hinge and a ball peg on this body. It's not the old one with no hinge. So she can look down and dislocate the head. She can't really look up too much just because of the hair. So it's not really that helpful. You can rotate side to side a little bit and you get a little bit of leaning. But since it's not a double ball peg, it's relatively limited. Full rotation for the shoulder, though it's very tight. Bringing it up, you can get it up to horizontal, so that is okay. Bicep swivel is fine. A single jointed elbow. I'm thinking now that these are reused parts from before, but I can't remember. It doesn't matter. They're hideous either way. 90 degree out of the elbow bend, and you get another bicep swivel if you want that. And then the wrists do have a swivel and a hinge. For the torso, she leans back a little bit, and the paint goes up, so I guess that's okay. She does not lean forward. There's basically no lean going forward at all. Side to side is acceptable, and then you get rotation. And that's it for the torso. Very, very limited. For the hips, they go out to the side just about 45 degrees. Pretty limited there. Going forward, you kick high. Doesn't go back too far, but that's decent. I will take that. And then you do get a thigh swivel, which is nice. Double jointed knees on this figure work no problem. There's no real issue there. Then you get an ankle hinge that goes all the way back and far enough forward, though it could go a little bit farther, and you get an ankle rocker that's decent. So articulation's acceptable, but not good by any stretch. So I'm gonna give her a 6 on that. For this guy, it's gonna be the same as before, basically. He can look up, but it actually starts to pop his head off because of that weird turtleneck thing he has going on. There's not as much clearance as he could have otherwise had, so he doesn't look up that well. He looks down okay, so that's fine. Head rotates, and then it leans just a little bit on the ball peg. Should definitely be a double ball peg. Full rotation other than where the shoulder pad comes in, so that's okay. Hinge goes out to the side. No problem. Man, it looks so ridiculous. I want somebody to find me someone in real life built like this, with their head that far away from their shoulder. Oh my goodness. Bicep swivel is okay, double jointed elbow, okay. These are the pinned versions of these arms, by the way. They have kind of updated versions of these, and they use the old ones because it's cheaper probably. All right, wrists have a swivel and a hinge, that's fine. Ab crunch goes back, it's fine. It's a little bit lumpy here, but it's okay. Goes forward nicely. Waist twist is a waist twist. Legs do kick up pretty far. They don't go really too far back at all. Out to the side, that's not bad. That's better than most spider figures. Thigh swivel is okay. Double jointed knee is okay. His thighs and legs are so chunky compared to the rest of the body. It's very unpleasant to look at. You do get a boot swivel that's pretty ugly. Feet go all the way back and all the way forward, and they have an okay ankle rocker. So his articulation's gonna get a 6. It's fine. It's not good though. So very disappointing. All right, let's do an overall rating for this garbage, crappy 2-pack of garbage. I would say don't buy it. The only actual good thing out of this, well, there's 3 things actually. 3 good things out of this whole 2-pack. I'll say 4. I always change those things. 1 is his head. His head sculpt is nice. It's too big, but it's a nice head sculpt. 2, his cape is done really well. And then the other 2 things are his arms, the extra arms. Those are nicely done, I suppose. That's it. This 2-pack is horrible for the price point, and it's not even good for a regular $20 price point. These are not anywhere near worth what they're asking for. I'm going to give this 2-pack an overall rating of 3 out of 10. Don't spend that much money on this set. Don't. Wait for it to get discounted. There's no way these guys are worth almost $30 a piece. That's insane. Alright guys, there it is. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should consider it. I have new videos every day but Wednesday and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.